What's up, Mommy?
It's a revolution.
He's still stowing food.
Yeah, I try to organize everything inside the fridge another time because after the Jackery we make a lot of provision.
A lot.
We bought a lot of, but we never been. And now the same, everything stopped down on the fridge in the bottle. And
down in the pit.
Yeah, some food you need to cook very fast. Yeah. And for these I check everything.
It takes a long time to stow all this stuff, doesn't it? And we pack it away really fast. Now we got to go through everything and do it again just to organize it properly. Now that we have time.
Yeah, we have time. The last word. Shut up. Don't tell nothing.
Yeah, now that we do have time, or I have time, I finally get to dive into this stuff that I've been receiving for the last little while, because I received some shipments just before we went into, well, hurricane mode and started packing stuff away. So everything got stowed away, and now I'm just starting to bring it back out and have a look at it and see what we actually got. Because what we just received in this latest round of shipments was some new products from some new manufacturers that are entering the space in the portable solar generator categories. So I've been looking forward to breaking these out for a while now, but you see we got the new system from Pecron. Okay, we've got Foxtheon, we got BougeRV, and you might remember BougeRV, that's the manufacturer of my favorite solar panels that we made the new solar shade up on the bow. So I'm anxious to try that and see how it compares, you know, and works with their solar panels. We've also got the latest from Jackery. Now, some of you might remember that Jackery is one of the longest names in the business, but they have just entered the market in expandable systems. So in other words, this is a portable, but this is an expandable battery pack that you can use to add capacity to the system when you're stationary, if you're using it as a home backup system or otherwise. Now, that's a very cool option, but it's a space that a lot of manufacturers are starting to fight for. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top, but I'm looking forward to testing this one. Another one that's doing the same thing is the Pecron. Now, I will admit, we've had this Pecron for a couple of months already, but I haven't been able to do any testing with it because the battery that they sent with it wasn't functioning. There's something wrong with it. So they said, don't worry, we just replaced, send another one, which they did, and the new battery just arrived. So I'm looking forward to getting this guy out and testing it as well, because for the size of it, this is one of the biggest capacity portables in this size range. It's a 2,000 watt, and the battery, it's a 2,000 watt hour, but the battery is a 3 kilowatt hour also, both LifePo 4, and so far it's the smallest one I've seen to date. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that one performs, because it could be a major entry into the market. Yeah, and just up in the forward cabin you can see there's the Pecron batteries there. So that's the first one they sent that was not working properly, and there's the new one they just sent. So that's what we're going to be testing very soon. I'm not going to do any testing or anything like that today. We're just going to be looking at unboxing, having a look what's in the box. You get to see it as I see it, first general comments, and that's it. So let's get started. Okay, so you can see we've already unpacked the Pecron, so I'm not going to spend any time on that one, but I will say that it looks like it's very well reinforced as far as the corners for rugged, you know, outdoor being jostled around when you're out camping and stuff like that. I'm just going to put it out of the way. And, oh yeah, one other thing we did also receive is our new Victron controller, because we had one got fried by kind of an indirect lightning strike. So this is going to go into our new system when we get our new batteries installed, because something else I haven't told you is that we have 2 more of the Redodo batteries on the way. I've been very super impressed with the Redodo batteries that we put in under the floor and been testing for the last 2-3 months. So I have another pair of them coming in to expand the system further, and that's going to replace the big 9 kilowatt hour battery that's underneath our seat here. So we can finally get rid of that, which is 200 pounds, and we're going to put the new batteries under the floor in the waterproof, because they're in a waterproof case, so that's much better for us. It's going to keep the weight lower in the boat and more in the center line right on top of the keel. So we're going to lose almost 200 pounds and replace it with 160 pounds. So we're gaining 10% power with 10 to 15% weight loss. Okay, so first one I'm going to open up is the Foxtheon. Now this is their new iGo 1200. And they've got a full series of these. This is the smallest one, I believe. They've got an iGo 3600, which is a bigger unit. That was the one I was actually interested to see because it has a modular system with removable battery packs. And the whole thing is supposed to be waterproof. So I'm very interested to see that one, Foxtheon, but they didn't send it to me. They sent me their small one instead. So that's what we're going to have a look at first and go from there. Let's see what we got in the box. Okay, owner's manual, packaging. Now, see right off the bat, external power brick for charging. That's one thing that turns me off almost instantly, is because you have to carry this thing around separately if you want to charge the unit. It needs to plug into the wall via here, and then this plugs into the solar generator to recharge it if you're plugged into shore power or AC power or anything like that. I'm sorry, but I don't know, there's too many of them still using these where it's unnecessary. There's new generations of the reverse cycle inverters that now you just plug the base station right into the wall directly and it has the charging circuit built in. That's far superior, far more power output, so it's much faster charging, and you don't have to carry this thing around. So that's the first thing I see that I don't really like. But and of course I'm not really fond, I know a lot of them are using it because they need it for protection when they're shipping, but the styrofoam. Be nice if they could come up with something different, but I know it's difficult. You know, they got to protect this stuff, especially when it's being shipped because of the batteries and all that kind of thing. But wow, it's quite a cute little unit.
It's very mini.
Yeah, it's very compact, I must say, for a 1200.
Seems like the EcoFlow, but it's little of the EcoFlow.
Yes,
how many power of these, Rick?
Well, it says 1200, but I'm not sure.
1200? More the EcoFlow?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the kilowatt hours or the kilowatt capacity of the inverter. AC output is 1200 watts, surge 2400 watts. That's pretty good. Okay. Lithium iron phosphate battery. Remaining capacity still above 80% after 1500 cycles. That's a bit unusual because normally it's 3500 cycles if it's lithium iron phosphate. But, there it is. Battery capacity is 974 watt hours, so just under 1 full kilowatt hour.
It's no better for the size.
No, it's actually very small for a 1 kilowatt hour. And it's got a 1200 watt inverter with 2400 watts peak power, so that's not bad. But then, yeah, just this, and you look how much bigger, you know, just to carry that around extra with
yeah,
it.
this is something really funny.
And it increases the size of the packaging that's necessary to ship it in as well. Because this whole top end of the box is unnecessary, it's just there for this.
And it's heavy.
It's heavy, and it's just awkward to have to carry around with you when you need to recharge on the fly, if you're traveling. Okay. One of the reasons we're unpacking these now is because I need to get rid of these boxes. As you can imagine, we have limited space and they ship me all this stuff and it's always in big packaging, and we need to get rid of the packaging. So
in a big package, inside there another big package, another big package.
Yeah, so I just thought it'd be fun to unpack these guys with you and go from there.
Okay, what do we have next some more?
So there's our first comparison. That's a 2000 watt hour, that's a 1000 watt hour, almost a 1000 watt hour.
Yeah, it's very different.
Big difference, that's what I mean. They are starting to become much more compact, which is good for us. Okay, next, our BougeRV. This is the new BougeRV, and this is a 1500 watt system, so it's right in the middle of the category. So I've never seen one in this size range yet, but let's have a look. Okay, we're down here on top. Wiring. Okay, instruction manual. And again, yeah, external charging pack.
Yeah.
External charging pack with an XT60 and an XT90 connector on it. Solar charging wires. So again, yeah, you already know my feelings on these. I wish they would start incorporating these into the new designs. I think that they are going to start doing that more in the future, but hopefully sooner than later, because it's a big improvement and it actually leads to much faster charging. Okay, so that's the only strike against you so far, BougeRV. I love the solar panels, but let's see what this thing is like. Again, big huge styrofoam. Necessary, but it'd be nice if they could change it, even if it was cardboard or something reinforced. Okay, I'm gonna put this one on the floor to lift out.
Seems like the same dimension of the last one.
No, this one's bigger. But let's have a look. Put the styrofoam back.
It's more tall.
This is a 1500 watt.
It's more high.
That's a 1974 watt hour. Yeah, let's see what its rated capacities are just quickly. General info, 39.7 pounds, 1456 watt hours at 22.4 volts. That's interesting too. Some of them are doing 22 or 24 volt systems now instead of the 48 or 52 volts. I'm not sure why. The 50 volt systems are going to be a little bit more efficient. Maybe it's just because the electronics are more expensive. And these guys are all competing for that lowest price range category now as well, so could be one of the differences, and maybe just because it's a smaller capacity unit. It is LiFePO 4 lithium iron phosphate with 3500 cycles rated to 80% capacity. We'll go over all the other technical specifications later after I've done some testing, but for now I just wanted to get an idea of what we're looking at. Yeah, this one, I'm actually pretty excited to see this one and see what it looks like, because this is Jackery's latest entry into a new market. And they've been in the market forever, but this is the first time they've attempted to put out an expandable system. And I believe it might even have app control. I'm not sure. I hope so, because I really like when they put app control in the systems, because then you can remote monitor them from anywhere. And that's a very cool feature. But I understand it adds cost and complexity.
If you have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, if you have Wi-Fi, or even just Bluetooth when you're next to the unit. Like, we can be anywhere on the boat and still check in with Bluetooth, but the ones that have Wi-Fi will connect to our network because we have Starlink, and we can actually dial up on the app from anywhere on shore and see how it's doing when it's recharging during the day, if it's at 60%, 80%, whatever. And if it hits its limit and I want to turn it on to plug, I've got something plugged in, I can just turn it on from the app even on shore and recharge something on the boat while I'm away, so that it continues charging from solar, it doesn't just shut off. I mean, it's just cool features. Yeah, Jackery always does things nice also. They got good packaging for everything.
Is the recharge cable?
Yeah, this will be all their cables and adapters. Everything's orange, so you can never mistake Jackery. And of course, their solar panels, they sent us 2 solar panels you see over here also. But these are their proprietary panels.
What's mean?
I say proprietary because they have adapters that you need to use with them if you want to use them with another charging, like with a different solar generator or anything like that. They're meant to just work directly with their own equipment, so the modular plugs on the solar panels will plug directly into these, but they won't work with any other solar generator unless you have an adapter to MC4 connectors. It's kind of a bit of a pain, but well, Jackery just has all their stuff proprietary because they want you to use all their stuff.
And this is the recharge battery, the same without the big case box.
Well, I'm not sure yet, but that's what we're going to find out soon. Ah, there it is, yes.
Look at.
That's for the app. So they got a manual just for the app. That's cool. Alright, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Because so far the only other ones that have app control are the Blue Eddy and the EcoFlow. And they do it on everything pretty much, which is very great. I love that stuff. But a lot of the other stuff we've been getting doesn't have it. So cool. Good on you, Jackery. Looking forward to seeing that. But again, styrofoam packaging. Everybody's using the same, I know. I'm just pointing it out because it'd be nice to see them all change, that's all. Okay. Now Jackery does do a nice job with their stuff, that's for sure, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this one looks like. Now this is a 1000 watt system already as well. Okay. So there it is, this is the new Plus. And what Plus means is that it's not restricted to just the internal battery, it can be connected to expansion batteries, and that's what this guy is here. So we're going to open that next and see what that looks like. So, there's a user manual for the battery. Of course, we've got these big, huge plugs with the connectors, and they've done it just like everybody else. I wish they would get it through their head that everybody hates these connectors because they have to go like this on the side of the unit, and you lose all this space on the side of the unit. They need to just make these with a 90-degree connector that just joins the two together. That way you can put it up against a wall or in a cabinet without having to take up extra space. I mean, it's functional, it works great, but it's just, you know, unless you have a huge amount of space, which of course on a boat we're restricted in space, so this takes up a lot of space that you can't use for anything else. But anyway, moving on. Okay, remove the battery, and this will double the capacity of the head unit. So we got a 1 kilowatt-hour system here and a reserve 1 kilowatt-hour battery here. And I believe they're meant to be stackable. I'm not sure which one goes on top, but I imagine you can put it however you want. So it sits like that. Yeah, all the manufacturers have their own proprietary joining cables also, as does Jackery, and you can see they've got it listed on the handles right here, A and B. So when we turn the unit around, we just found, when we open it up, okay, we've got an A, and then on the battery we got an A and a B. So that means that we can daisy chain the batteries together. So for here, we got the A we're going to plug into the Jackery itself. And then this one is B, so that's going to plug into the B side port right there. Now if we hook up another battery, we just plug in another cable from A to B down to the next battery. Now the other thing we've been talking about, of course, is the AC charging. And there's exactly what I'm talking about. See, this one has the AC cord directly in the back of the unit, so there's no separate brick required. So this is just going to plug directly into the back of the unit, and it's a 15 amp maximum connection, so the wire is obviously heavy gauge enough to handle that, as long as you have an AC outlet with enough capacity. It needs to be at least a 15 amp circuit. Okay, good. So anyway, we'll look forward to testing all of these, which I will get to very soon. For now, we just got to get back to stowing everything else and making our space on the boat, getting ourselves balanced, and figure out next plan, and hopefully not dealing with another storm in the foreseeable future. Fingers crossed.